Well, we had a whole show planned for Sunday. AFC, NFC, National Championship Sunday. And then, of course, the Lions had to go all Lions on us yesterday and totally throw off our plan. So here we are. It is Championship Sunday still, but the biggest news story in Detroit, obviously, Matthew Stafford.
It's Stafford Sunday.
Yeah, Stafford Sunday.
It really is, man. There's just
about time during the playoffs.
There's so many different lines that we can go on this one. Where does he go? What's his value? Is it too soon? Is this the right move? Then you sandwich that in with all the other moves that the Lions are making right now, and it's really an awesome time to be a Lions fan. That's why I brought this bad boy back out. It's a great way to head into the AFC and NFC championship games tonight with some Lions relevancy, you know?
I love that, man. How long have you had that shirt? Because it's got holes in it. I mean, this is all faded. Like, this is old school.
At all?
What's that?
Have you washed it?
Yeah, but it's kind of yellowing. It is a little bit.
Yeah, it's got that Detroit water sheen to it.
Yeah, my dad got this. He said in the early '80s, I want to say, and I stole that probably early '90s, and this has been my good luck charm to draft in ever since.
Okay,
but today I'm wearing it for good luck.
How's that working out for you?
I got quite a few rings, baby. I got quite a few rings. But no, it's an exciting day, man.
It's a new day. I don't know if it's exciting or not. Like, I'm still kind of stuck in the middle. Like, to me, this is a day that's been coming for many, many years, and we knew that, hey, we either got to cut ties with this guy, get some value for him, or we got to just tie our entire ship to him and keep sailing. And the minute they got rid of Bevel, I kind of knew that the writing was on the wall.
Yeah. Well, the thing is we're not in the middle anymore. We've always been in the middle for the last 5 years with Stafford. Get rid of him. Don't get rid of him. People love him. People hate him. He's such a polarizing figure here. But now we know.
Right.
It's happening. And now there's just so much conjecture. Where does he go? What's his value? And I can't wait to get into that.
Well, I guess let's do it then. I mean, so let's first of all, we got to get into some of his career stats. Obviously, he has 30 fourth quarter comebacks, the most since 2009. I mean, you look at what he's done as a Lions quarterback, it's just absolutely insane. His splits compared to anybody else that's close to him. Like, the next closest quarterback to Matthew Stafford in yards, Bobby Lane. 15,000. You know how many Stafford has? 45,000 yards. That's 30,000 more yards than Bobby Lane. 282 TDs compared to Bobby Lane, 118. I mean, he is just, like, it's safe to say he's the greatest Lions quarterback of all time.
I mean, the other guy's not even alive.
Well, yeah, that doesn't matter. That doesn't take away his greatness when he played.
When you're comparing to other guys and none of them are even alive, you know that he's been the only guy that we've had in our lifetime, really. So it's scary to say goodbye a little bit.
Bobby Lane from 1950 to 1958. Little different. Little different times that we're living in right now.
I think they had leather caps back then.
So we did a Twitter poll on this, and actually fans are kind of split on it. You know, it was two options, like, we've waited too long, or no, I wish we would have kept him. And 53% said good, we've waited too long. 47% said no, we should have kept him. Where are you in that camp? Did we wait too long, or should we keep him?
I think that this is the right time. I don't like the fact that a brand new regime has this major chip that they have to move and move it right, because moving Stafford in the wrong manner will set this franchise back. We can't go backwards.
No.
This is a really important time for the Lions, and I'm very happy that they've committed to moving forward, not only for the city's behalf, but also for Stafford. I think that's important.
I just hope, I mentioned it last night in that little Facebook Live video that I did off my couch because this news broke out of nowhere. I'm watching the MHSAA finals, and West Bloomfield's running all over Davison, and next thing I know, Matthew Stafford's getting traded.
Dude, I was doing this in my living room, man.
I just hope this is a situation where we're not going to wind up in the Calvin Johnson. We're not going to wind up like Barry Sanders, where we're not friends with this guy moving forward. I hope it's like a Justin Verlander situation. Like, all right, you were great. You couldn't get it done here. The team couldn't get it done here around you, but go be great somewhere else. Get it done while we try to rebuild and get back to where we need to be as a franchise, or get back to where we've never been as a franchise.
And this new regime, what I really do like is that that's the first thing they did was they sat down with the captain. They said, "Do you want to be here or not?" And they made the call together, and that's something that we haven't seen a whole lot of in Detroit Lions past. So the right foot is being put forward already.
Yeah, and it's interesting because supposedly, and this is just some of the things that I've been reading, Corey Woods has been dropping great bombs on the Woodward Sports social media.
He is great.
He's awesome. And supposedly, like, the new staff was under the impression that they were going to come in without Stafford.
Really?
Like that this was already going to be a done deal, but then when it happened, they decided, okay, well, we'll work with this and move forward. But now we are where we are. But from my understanding, the new general manager and the new head coach, Dan Campbell, they were under the assumption that Stafford wouldn't even be here when they got here.
Wow.
And then I've also read that even though they said they're willing to trade him and he wants to be traded in this offseason, if they don't get the value they're looking for, they will keep him. So this isn't like 100% he's gone. It's like 99.9999999%. But there's a little bit of hope.
Yeah, well, there's a little bit of something upstairs, it sounds like, because another regime, past regimes, they would have just moved him because they said they were going to. And we have to get the right value here. This will set back the franchise another decade if they do it wrong.
Franchise is already set back. I don't know what you guys are talking
For sure.
about.
We'll go back to the 80s if we mess this one up.
We're going back to the Marinelli
this
era.
was messed up last season because dumbass ownership decided to threaten the GM and the head coach and tell them, if you don't win this year, you're gone. So instead of trading back or potentially drafting a future quarterback, they took a cornerback who's not polished, and he didn't even play half the fucking season.
But one thing we did learn, it wasn't a threat. It was a certainty.
Yeah,
like that's one thing I learned about this ownership. Like, even though they did lay down the law, which I thought was ridiculous, they held to their word. Like, hey, if you're not here, you're gone.
Yeah,
and guess
I'm glad
what?
they did. And Justin Herbert's in Los Angeles, and Tua was a project in Miami.
Yeah. And
we got Chase Daniel.
We do got Chase Daniel, the highest paid backup quarterback in the NFL. So, I mean, we're looking pretty sweet right now.
No doubt.
So where do you think Stafford's going to go? Because there is going to be so much quarterback change in the NFL this year. I'm talking, I got a list here of teams, and it's 9 teams long that he could go through. That's a third of the NFL that he could go to.
Easily. Yeah, there's 6 destinations that I see likely happening, but I mean, you could easily find a dozen teams that would love to have Stafford.
Right.
And he will put it up our ass wherever he goes.
No. Okay,
he is
wait,
going to
wait,
make
wait.
us.
First of all,
I knew this would get him involved.
all right. First of all, there are many quarterbacks out in the market other than Matthew Stafford.
Right.
There's going to be Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, Mitchell Trubisky. Whether you like them or not, there are plenty of options for teams. So no team is going to look at Matthew Stafford and say, I'm going to give up my future to get a guy that I know he wants to leave. And they agreed they want to leave. We threw away all leverage. And Matthew Stafford had his opportunities. We had good teams around him. Could have won a division. Could have won a playoff game. So I don't want to hear that he's going to dick us and somehow go pull a Justin Verlander and win a ring somewhere else. And Verlander cheated to win that ring. So please.
Hey, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. You know, I don't care. If we had to bang trash cans for the Lions to win a Super Bowl, I would be the most trash cannon banging motherfucker on the planet. You would call me Oscar the Grouch because I would just be living in trash cans. Like, let's get that Super Bowl. Let's get that Super Bowl.
I'd be right there with you, homie. No doubt.
We're getting a lot of comments.
And that's what they call Philadelphia Eagle fans.
Yeah. Yeah, the Eagles is maybe a possible landing spot for Stafford. I mean they've talked about that, even though they have 2 quarterbacks on the roster.
There's not a whole lot of difference between Detroit fans and Philly fans, to be fair.
No, when I went to Washington, there's not a lot of difference between Washington football team fans and Detroit fans. Like, I went to it was 2 years ago, I went to the away game there when the tickets were like $5, and literally driving in, talk radio sounded just like Detroit. Management's inept. We don't have this. We don't have this. Oh, if we only had this. If at one point we had this, it's like, no, you never had it. And we never had it either. So we're getting some comments. Steven here thinks he New England, Washington football team, Indy, San Francisco, New Orleans. Dion's saying maybe the Colts. Steven's saying maybe Jerry World. And then we got Paul Miller also saying the Colts and Washington. Washington's interesting to me.
Washington's what scares me because
Yeah.
he stays in the NFC at that point. They've always had our number, back to 92, man. But they've always had our number. I would hate having him under center there. Just, again, putting it up our ass every time we face him, I think would happen. Now, I got a question for you.
I got an answer.
You're a Colts guy.
I am a Colts guy.
Where would the Colts be this season? Would they still be playing if they had Stafford under center?
Ooh, they'd have a better chance at still being played. I mean, they weren't a complete team by any means, but I think Stafford is better than Phillip Rivers.
At this point.
I don't know. That's tough to say. It's tough to say. Adam, what do you think about that? Because I know you're with me on the Colts. You think they're a solid, fundamental team. They're built well. They have all the pieces in place. Maybe they do need that quarterback to put them over the top, but is Stafford that guy that puts them over the top, I think is the question.
I think for this season they peaked with Phillip Rivers. I don't think they lost because of Phillip Rivers, though. I thought he played a very good game against Buffalo, and they just came up against a way better team.
That's the thing.
And they had much more offensive weapons than the Colts do. The Colts do have an offensive line, but what, T.Y. Hilton? T.Y. Hilton's a fantasy option like 4 years ago. The guy is not
imagine
shell of himself.
Stafford with time.
That is, I mean, and a running game. That's what everybody's always made that excuse
it's
for
Phillip
Stafford.
Rivers with time. He'll throw 4,000 yards, about 28 touchdowns, 8 to 10 interceptions, have a good season. They don't have dynamic playmakers on offense. And even when he had Calvin Johnson, could have won a fucking playoff game. So save the bullshit.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be alive either, but it's intriguing.
It is intriguing. Houston is another option. If Deshaun Watson wants out and they want to make that trade happen, I will personally drive down there and pick up Deshaun Watson.
I know that he'd like to be in New York. He's talked about Miami, but I love your take on the hometown boy.
Yeah.
He'd be right at home there.
Well, Dallas is really where he'd be the hometown boy because Highland Park's not that far outside of Dallas. And I actually, when Stafford first got in the league, a buddy of mine is a radio DJ in Dallas, like a pretty big one. And he DJs all of Jerry Jones's suite parties at the stadium. And I guess Stafford was at one of them. And he got to talking. He's like, hey, I'm from Detroit. And, they were bullshitting back and forth about Detroit. And Stafford, I don't know if he said it mean or anything. He's like, yeah, I'd love to be home, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and this was many years ago. So that kind of put a sour taste in my mouth about Stafford early on in his career. But he proved himself to be a solid quarterback throughout that. But I know in his heart, and who wouldn't want to go play for your hometown squad?
Absolutely.
So if he winds up in Dallas, would you take Dak in Detroit?
No.
Dak? Anybody? Adam?
Not coming off that injury, man.
Depends, man. He wants $40 million a year. I'd rather have my mom play quarterback for the Lions than pay Dak $40 million.
I mean, if my mom was making $40 million a year, I'd let her play quarterback. Mom,
any
throw the
position
ball,
you
Marvin
want.
Jones.
Right?
Mom, DeAndre Swift, just hand it off.
Just hand it off.
And good news is, any fantasy dynasty owner that has DeAndre Swift, look for him to be a monster next year, no matter who we bring.
Well, let me kind of help bring you guys back down to reality a little bit.
Please.
So with
let's
Houston,
go, Eminem.
There's no way Stafford signs off of that. He's not going to leave one dysfunctional franchise for another.
Yep.
That's out of the question. Dallas, I don't see Jerry pulling the trigger. They're going to find a happy medium between 29 and 34 million for Dak, and they're going to come to an agreement. I don't think they're going to move off Dak. It's too much of a PR risk.
Well, and they saw what happened to their team without Dak.
And I think
they were
just
shit
got a
with Dak.
discount with the injury, too.
They were 1-3 with Dak. Then he broke his leg.
Yeah, but he was getting 500 yards a game.
Well, you know what? Wait, I'm going to take that back. Mike McCarthy's their coach, so I'm not going to shit on Dak too hard right now.
So they're going to suck no matter what until they get rid of
They're
McCarthy.
going to suck. They could have Tom Brady. They're going to suck.
I think Dak is a fantasy quarterback. I would not want him running our franchise.
I'd want him running my fantasy franchise, but yeah. No, I wouldn't want Dak here either.
Of course.
Healthy, of course. Oh, of course. But that's the thing. Okay, so we get rid of Stafford. Who's your target to bring in? That's the fun question because we can talk about.
This is not the year to draft a quarterback.
So what about a trade to the Jets? You get Sam Darnold, maybe their
Here's what
second
you
overall
do.
pick, and you give him Stafford.
This is
No,
what you do.
please, no.
No?
Stafford has 2 years. Stafford has 2 years left on his contract. You trade him to the Saints. You get a future first-round pick and a second. Call it even. He goes to the Saints. He tries to make a Super Bowl run.
Love it.
We take Micah Parsons at 7.
Yes.
Help on the defensive side of the football. And then next year, we have a ton of draft capital where we can make a move for a quarterback. Taking Justin Fields at 7 is a big stretch. He's not a game-changing franchise quarterback, and we've had a franchise quarterback for 12 years. We couldn't win a division. We had bigger issues.
The thing with the Saints is now we're turning back into what we just did with Patricia and Quinn. Like we brought an assistant coach and made him our coordinator. We brought their assistant coach and made him our head coach. Now we're gonna trade them our pieces. It's like
We committed 6 years.
The Saintriot way. It's coming.
The Saintriot way.
That's coming, baby. The Saintriot way.
I cannot believe we gave Dan Campbell a 6-year contract.
Dude.
But I understand it.
Watch
Why?
your mouth and watch your fucking kneecaps.
No, I don't give a shit, man. This is so
Best
fucking
soundbite of the
stupid.
year,
6
man.
years? Like, the next 3 are dead.
Well,
They're absolutely dead.
the only part I don't like about that is when they were doing the introduction, they wouldn't use the term rebuild. They would keep saying retool. We're going to retool. Then you give this dude a 6-year deal and you trade away your franchise quarterback. This is a rebuild. Like what are we doing? It's a rebuild, and that's okay, but why are we denying it?
It's a historically bad defense. The team was never close to pushing for a division title, let alone the playoffs, let alone winning a playoff game.
No doubt.
So giving Dan Campbell 6 years, that's a big commitment. That means you're giving him the first 2 years off. Hey, I don't care what happens the first 2 years. We're going to rebuild. Year 3, stepping stone. Year 4, I want to see results.
Right.
I don't want to fucking wait 4 years.
We also
on
have
a guy. I mean, oh
we
my
also
God,
just hired
man.
an offensive coordinator that's waiting in the wings at any point. Let's be real.
David Purdy in the chat is saying give him time to rebuild. Dude, it's not his job to rebuild. It's fucking Brad Holmes' job. I don't want to commit 6 years to a goddamn head coach.
Well, we did, whether you like it or not, Adam. And Dan Campbell is here. He actually lives somewhere in Birmingham. He said right off Woodward. So Dan Campbell, if you're
Nice.
watching, feel free
Trey
to swing
Lance
by.
at 7. Fuck
We got
me.
plenty of kneecaps
Fuck
here.
me.
Yeah, I'm ready to eat some kneecaps. Oh man, that guy got me fired up though. So I'm down for the rah-rah guy.
I gotta say, this regime, this entire group of guys that they've put together is going to be loved by the city. In fact, I think that we're going to have a little bit of fanfare outside of Detroit. I think the hiring that we've done here will get some national attention.
Well, it already has. When is the last time you had positive national Lions news? Period.
I can't remember.
And that Dan Campbell thing went fucking viral, and it was the first time I turned on SportsCenter, or I turned on every other station, and what were they talking about? Dan
Lions.
Campbell.
The
You turn on
Lions,
any
baby.
podcast, what are they talking about? Dan Campbell, Pat McAfee, Dan Campbell, like everybody talking Dan Campbell.
He brings such a refreshing energy after this last regime, man. It's
Right.
just it's been great in such a short time already.
So back on to Stafford, one of the talks is him going to San Francisco. Like that, there was a tweet yesterday that kind of set all this in motion. Like, oh, I heard San Francisco's calling Detroit, talking about Stafford, and it was from a guy who just randomly tweets shit, so nobody took him serious. But then all of a sudden, an hour later, it's like, oh, they've agreed to terms that Stafford does not want to be in Detroit. Detroit does not want Stafford here next year. What do you think about him in San Francisco? They've lost Salah, so I don't know how their defense is going to look.
Well, our mutual friend, Would You Like Fries with That Dan, is a bartender out in San Francisco, and that is all the talk, he said, the last couple days.
Okay.
Everyone out there wants him. I think that that's such a perfect natural fit, and it scares the shit out of me.
They would have won the Super Bowl 2
No.
years ago if they had Stafford. I think so.
Sure, I guess. I don't know. Jimmy G
makes that
played really
one
good.
throw.
He missed one throw.
Yeah,
I
he
know,
makes that
but
throw.
Look,
I don't think they would have been
Shanahan's
that
doing a
close.
great job there.
Yes.
I think if you want to go just on coaching situation, New Orleans is probably the best situation for him. Just team up with Sean Payton.
I'm
That
already
is
getting
fucking
sick
lethal.
of New Orleans. Sick of New Orleans already. And then we got, let's see, the Eagles we talked about. Patriots. Now, that's an interesting landing spot because we always talk about Stafford and how he had to go through coaching and scheme and all this stuff. What do you think him and Bill Belichick could do to the league?
We better not fucking deal with that.
Win about 6 games.
You think
Maybe
so?
8.
You don't think that improves their team at all?
No, their offense is horrible. People
man,
dogging
I
Cam
think-
Newton. That team could have moved the fucking ball.
Yeah, because nobody can throw the ball down the field. They're running from their quarterback and
They
their
don't have
running
guys
back.
to throw the ball to.
That's the interesting thing. One of the biggest knocks on Stafford throughout his entire career is who did he make better? And you go to New England, you got to make all those receivers better because they are not good.
That's true. They're old, or N'Keal Harry is probably the only bright spot in the future of that receiving core. But
Meh.
exactly, there's not a
20
lot
years
of.
that Bill Belichick couldn't draft a goddamn receiver. I don't want to hear it.
I just think that Belichick would be able to get everything out of Stafford that we never
Nah.
were able to.
Nope.
I don't think that team's
Nope,
very
totally
good.
wrong.
I don't have a problem sending them there because I don't think that
Totally wrong.
they're not a Super Bowl team. But I think
Bill
that
Belichick is not the most capable coach out there right now.
No, I agree
of
with
getting
that.
the most out of Stafford.
I think Tom
Kyle
Brady's
Shanahan,
proven that.
Sean Payton, Frank Wright out in Indianapolis, way better
Dan
coaches
Campbell,
out there for him.
Detroit. No.
God, no.
Personally, I think
Dan Campbell is going to teach Matthew Stafford how to block, not how to throw the fucking ball.
That's what we need. We need a blocking quarterback. That's what we've been missing for 59 years in
down
Detroit.
the field and lay out.
It's been the missing link as a blocking quarterback.
Well, we can argue over what's a better landing spot, who's the worst coach or the better coach to get the most out of Stafford. My question is what is he worth?
It depends on the team. Like I was saying, if I'm
After yesterday, nothing.
If I'm the Jets,
Because we fucking lost all our leverage.
Yeah, well, we did lose leverage. But if I'm the Jets and I know that I need a quarterback, or you're the Colts and you feel that you're this close away, he holds a little more value than he does to another team. So it really is team dependent on how much we can get out of him.
I agree a bit, but where I'm not going to agree on is, oh, man. I don't know. I feel like Washington's a better situation. He has a defensive line that is absolutely scary.
Oh, yeah.
Antonio Gibson in the backfield. He'll have Terry McLaurin. They'll build around him.
Scary
I mean,
Terry.
tight ends actually played really good this year. So
Yeah, Logan Thomas came out of nowhere. Nowhere.
I'd be very afraid of Stafford ending up in San Francisco or in Washington. I'd like to see him go to the AFC. I don't want to play him.
You don't want to play him?
Stafford's in the NFC Championship next year if he's in New Orleans, and I'm very confident in that.
All right. Now, here's the question. The Bears. Because, like, when we looked up the odds of where Stafford was going to wind
He's not
up.
stupid. He's not going to trade away. No. He's going to go to better weather.
Okay.
He's not going to deal with Chicago.
Dude, if he
Matt
went to the
Nagy's
Bears,
a fucking
they'll
idiot.
win a championship just because they're Chicago.
I know. I'm picturing him with that stupid fucking C on his helmet and just whooping
That one
our
hurts.
butt twice
that
a
one
year.
hurts to even think about.
I know. I don't like it, but it's been talked about. And why would you trade your best asset ever inside the division? Like, I know the Packers wound up doing that with Brett Favre going to the Vikings, but that was after he went to the Jets, right? They didn't directly trade him to the Vikings. So, I mean, I could see him coming back into our division at some point, but I don't want to face that year one.
Well, we'll find out real quick how good our new regime is if they
He's not
trade
going
him
to the
within
Bears.
division.
I'd be so shocked. Like,
Right.
that would be such an idiot move
I
on
don't
his
think they
end.
would.
What about if they offered Khalil Mack, like Steven's saying in the chat?
No.
No?
No, it's just going to be Trey Flowers. He's going to be expensive, and we're not going to have a good enough team to win. So
He's
what's
not
the
the
point?
same player he once was. That's for certain.
So, what was your favorite Matthew Stafford moment? Now that we can kind of reminisce on the career that
Him
was
leaving.
in Detroit. Him leaving? That's your favorite Matthew Stafford moment?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's going to talk about the Browns, right? Like, even though that was his rookie year, and that's what's sad about this.
But that's when you fell in love. You know?
Yeah,
If you loved
that's what I fell in
Stafford,
like.
that's when you fell in love with him.
Yeah, no, because that's what all the Stafford slappies always point back to is his toughness. And we saw his toughness throughout his entire career. So there's no knock on his toughness. It's just, was he the guy that could put you over the top? And he could just never get us past 0-3 in the playoffs. Not all
Dude.
on him, but, you know, during the Dallas game, we had 5 minutes left in that game after the bullshit pass interference call to take the ball down the field, get there. Yes, we had the shank punt and all that, but we still had opportunities, and it didn't happen, man. And
I like when Stick's objective, honestly. that means a lot to me.
Comeback wins in
But
week 5
to go
don't
more
mean
onto
shit.
what he's saying,
Yeah.
guy has like an 18% win percentage over his career against winning teams.
Right.
Like, again, I think he's been a model franchise quarterback. He's been consistency in a franchise that has not been consistent at all. Having said that, I'm happy. Goodbye. Time to rebuild, man.
It's time, baby.
We got everything out of him that we could.
It's time. I
was
really want
nothing.
to ask that question, though. What is he worth, though, man? What do we get in exchange for this guy?
I want at least a first-round pick. Like, at least a first-round
Okay,
pick.
I got a question. So let's say we get Watson in your ideal scenario. What do we have to give up with Stafford to get Watson? And what would you be willing to do?
Watson, and I would give up
Not gonna
Stafford
happen.
and Jeff Okuda.
Would you give up Stafford
would trade-
and the number 7?
Oh my God, yes! Sam said he would trade Akuda. Thank you, God. Oh my God.
Why wouldn't
Finally.
you? To get Deshaun Watson, like, to me, Dabo was right about Deshaun Watson when he was coming out. He's the Jordan of football, man. Like, what he's been able to do on that horrible Texas, like, not only offense, but regime, and then they trade away his best wide receiver. You got the best defensive player in football apologizing you for ruining your fucking career. Like, Deshaun Watson's special, so I would give up a little more for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Anson, if here, I'm gonna ask you a question. Hear me out. You're not gonna like this.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so let's first address Houston is not trading for Matthew Stafford. It's not gonna happen.
I don't think so either.
0%. Deshaun Watson's not gonna come and want to play for a kneecap guy with no defense.
Fair.
He's already done that in Houston. Having said that, he's not worth the first-round pick because our situation. If we had a backup quarterback right now, whether it was Justin Herbert, Tua, or I don't give a shit who,
Fitzpatrick.
we have the leverage. We don't. Teams are they're gonna have all the options out there. So, what are you willing to give away Stafford for? I think he's a second and a third at most.
Oh, I want a first at minimum.
Ooh, I don't think
You're not gonna get it.
You don't think so?
I think the era of trading quarterbacks for that kind of value is kind of starting to go away.
I mean, if Stafford is what all his teammates claimed him to be, and what everybody thinks he is, this elite quarterback outside of Detroit, just give him a chance to go to, then hopefully these teams wanting him have that same mindset. Like, oh shit, there's an elite quarterback who's been misused for 12 years sitting on the market. I'm gonna pay for him and see what it's got. Like I said, if I'm the Colts, I value the hell out of them. If I'm Dallas, I value the hell out of them. If I'm the Jets, I value the hell out of them. So there's certain teams he can go to where they got to kind of mortgage their future to kind of win now. San Francisco, their window is going to be closing, if not already closed.
Yeah. Man, I really don't know what to make out of all of this, dude.
It's a whirlwind, maybe.
It really is, because to a certain extent, there's got to be kind of a rush to get Stafford. As many quarterbacks as there are out there, there aren't a lot of guys that can do what he does with the ball. Now, Adam's got great points. His winning percentage, all of those things that make up a winning quarterback, he's never truly shown, aside from some Week 5 comebacks, which really don't matter.
I mean,
but I think that there is a lot.
Well, that's a big thing, Anson, is a lot of Matthew Stafford's wins, especially during those winning seasons. Under Caldwell, I think it was his third or fourth year, we went 9-7. 8 of them were fourth quarter comeback wins. We were never a good football team.
Absolutely.
But that's the NFL, man. There's a lot of games are decided by 7 or less points, and if you can edge those games out, that's what separates the elite teams from the crap teams.
Well,
it's just we were playing with fire all season.
And there's a lot of smart people in the NFL that can look objectively at the Lions and understand how much was the organization and how much was actually Stafford.
Right.
Because if you surround Stafford with the talent that you see in a lot of these other, winning teams, I think that you have a much different looking quarterback, and I think that there's going to be some GMs out there that understand that.
And honestly, I just like to kind of wrap this up because we got actually championship games to get to.
We do have to talk about
I know, man. That's what's so crazy about this. We planned a whole hour show around AFC and NFC, and then they had to drop the Stafford bomb on us yesterday. But, overall, now that we can kind of look back on his career here in Detroit, we didn't get there with him. Partially our fault, partially his fault. So credit and blame can be put on both sides. But overall, I mean, it's been nice to have 12 years of consistency at that position, not having to worry about it. And I'm rooting for him to go on, kind of like Justin Verlander. I know, he cheated, but I don't care. Stafford, deflate your balls if you got to win a Super Bowl. Do whatever you got to do. Brady did it. You can do it. But, just how much his family gave back to the organization and gave back to the city. Kelly Stafford was in here.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the Staffords, what they did. It just sucks, sometimes. Just doesn't work out.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it works out for him somewhere else. But if it does work out to the point or to the tune of a playoff win or two, does that mean he's a Pro Bowler or a Hall of Famer?
That's a whole nother question, man. That is a whole nother question.
We've been going back and forth on this one for a long time.
I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I honestly don't. At no point in his career have I thought he was a Hall of Famer. Yes, he had that one 5,000-yard season or whatever, but that was under a Mike Martz offense, which... come on. Mark Bulger threw for 5,000 yards in a Mike Martz offense.
But he can still go somewhere and change your opinion.
Yeah, if he goes and wins a Super Bowl or he goes and gets to a Super Bowl, that definitely changes the arc.
What about an AFC or NFC championship game?
I want to see how he gets there, I guess. If he's just a game manager and, let's say, I'm not saying he's going to the Ravens.
Jimmy G.
Yeah.
He's winning a ring as a game manager at like 37. That's what's going to happen.
But that's
Trent
been
Dilfer
my
style.
whole fucking point about Stafford his whole career. We should have used him as a game manager, not hang your hat on this guy, make him all-world, make him try to beat everybody. Because when Jim Bob Cooter came in, scaled him back after we lost the best wide receiver to ever touch a football, he got better. He got better completion percentage, like better at reading the offense. And we misuse Stafford.
100%.
Yes, he has every tool to make the throw, but he didn't have to make every throw on every single play. And that's part of him pressing, and that's part of us putting in a position to press.
You're supposed to put the team on your back as a quarterback, but you're not supposed to put the whole franchise on your back. And that's what they were asking him to do.
Right.
Week in and week out, year after year.
Yeah. So that's our Stafford talk. You guys want to get into some playoff talk?
Let's do it.
Playoff football!
Last Sunday was fun.
Last Sunday was fun. This Sunday is going to be amazing, I think. And don't forget, we're still giving away the $1,000.
Yeah.
So we haven't mentioned it yet because we went hard on Stafford. Yeah, fuck
Damn,
yeah.
guys,
Which game?
make sure you like, make sure you share.
Yep.
You've got to announce who's going to score the first touchdown.
Yep.
And you've got to pick the final score correctly.
Yes.
And it's free money, man. I love free money.
I mean, listen, with sports betting being legal now, they were giving out free money on pretty much every place that you could find. And my bookie is matching your deposit up to 0.5% or up to 50%. So you put in $1,000, they're going to give you $500 to gamble with.
I wonder what local bookies did yesterday.
A lot. I like it a lot. So let's do the AFC game for the guess. So if you want to win $1,000, here's what you got to do. You got to guess who's going to win the AFC Championship game, which player is going to score the first touchdown, and you must share this Facebook Live or retweet or subscribe on YouTube. Those are the three things you must do in order to get that $1,000. So put in your guesses right now. Who do you think is going to win against Kansas City and the Bills? Who's going to score the first touchdown in that game? And make sure you share because we want to pay somebody $1,000. I can't believe, Anson, we've been doing this for, 18 weeks now. And it started out giving out T-shirts.
Yeah. And we didn't give any out.
Then we changed to $1,000.
And then it's going out.
And then we gave away $3,000.
Real quick.
But,
So you find more intrigue with this game then?
I think this is the more exciting. I mean, both of these games are amazing.
They are.
But yeah,
Lots of intrigue.
You want to start with the AFC game right now?
Sure. If we're putting the money on that one, this is an interesting one. Mahomes went out last week. We're talking about turf toe. That's the big terminology right now going into this game. I think that it's going to cost him the first quarter, and I think that the first quarter is probably the most important quarter for Kansas City to establish their offense and establish their dominance.
Okay.
And if they're not able to do that in the first quarter because he's kind of getting back into the flow of things, I think this could be a real long day for the Chiefs.
Yeah, a lot of people have been worried about Patrick Mahomes because of the concussion protocol that he was in when it really didn't even look like his head got hit, but the bigger issue is that toe.
Yeah.
I mean, he couldn't even run before that, so I don't know if he's going to be as mobile as he was in the first game that they played each other.
Even when he was taking his plants to really throw, you could see he wasn't finishing. He wasn't able to follow through. Now, if there's a quarterback in the league that doesn't need to really follow through, it's him, and he'll be able to get by it, but it will cost him on a few throws here. You saw him underthrow and overthrow a couple of easy targets there, and that escapability is just crucial.
Yeah, and it's not even really on the throws. It's about how you use Patrick Mahomes. There's so much motion in that offense, and they get him out on the edge so often. Like, if you're restricting this guy to just being a pocket passer, it's a different Patrick Mahomes. Honestly, he turns into Stafford at that point. Great arm, can make all the throws, all the arm angles, just not as mobile as you need him to be.
He's so dangerous on that bootleg, and I bet that they probably scale that back a good 20%.
So the over-under on this game is 54.5 points. Kansas City is -3. If you're betting, make sure you go to my bookie and do that. We'll get into some of the prop bets on this game.
I'm so curious where you sit on this one.
You know what? I've flip-flopped on this from Friday.
Me too. Me too.
I keep going back and forth. I think both of these games are just a coin flip, and it's going to be great football. Like, both of these teams mirror each other so much.
Yeah.
And I love the young matchup at quarterback we got with this first game, Allen and Mahomes.
Yep, absolutely. The two best young guys in the league. Well, two of the best young guys in the league in this one, and of course, two legends in the other one. But I think the running game is going to be huge in this. They're going to have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's going to be healthy somewhat. He tore up the Bills this first time.
Yeah, 162 yards.
Yeah, crazy day for him. But they haven't been able to run the ball that well at all this season since Edwards kind of fell off in the beginning of the season. And I think that, these type of games, AFC championships, NFC championships, they're won with defense and running game.
So if you're the Bills and you got your ass torched on the run in the first game, are you focusing on the pass this game, or are you still going back and focusing, or are you going to focus on the run to try to stop that? Because last time they obviously tried to shut down Mahomes, and that did not work. Or it worked, they shut down Mahomes, but then they got ran through. Do you keep that same strategy, or do you evolve?
I think you have to come after Mahomes early and often today. That's what they did back early in the first matchup. However, he wasn't hurt,
Right.
And this is what you do with a guy who's hurt. Is you throw the kitchen sink at him, you blitz, you disguise packages, and you try and get him on his heels and throwing that ball off of his back heel.
If you had to start a franchise today, which quarterback you taking?
Oh, Mahomes all day long.
Mahomes? I know, Adam, you love yourself some Josh Allen. Are you taking Josh Allen or Mahomes at this point? I know Mahomes got that Super Bowl in his pocket. It's tough.
It's not about that. Mahomes is set up to win, man. He's got Andy Reid, ton of weapons. Josh Allen walked into a miserable Buffalo Bills team that had a decent defense, but they've regressed since he's been there. They got Stephon Diggs, and they're booming. I don't know. That's tough. I would love to have both.
Yeah,
right?
That'd be nice. That sure be nice. But if you had a gun to your head right now, who are you taking?
So if you had both, who would be the gadget guy? Because
Mahomes.
Mahomes would be the gadget guy?
I'm taking Patrick Mahomes.
Or I'd move Josh Allen to tight end.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let him play there. So if you want to win $1,000, we're doing it again today. Make sure you guess who's going to score the first touchdown of the Kansas City Bills game. Make sure you guess the final score of the Kansas City Bills game. And make sure you share this right now because we want to give away that money. We're getting some guesses in. We'll go back through those in a little bit. Really, the matchup I'm looking forward to in one of the prop bets that's available right now is who's going to have more receiving yards, Stephon Diggs or Travis Kelce. And I asked this on Friday and got some interesting responses. Who are you taking in that?
I got to take Kelce because I actually think that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be playing from behind.
You do?
I do. I think that Buffalo understands that they've got to be able to take the air out of the ball, so to say, and dominate time of possession in order to keep Mahomes off the field. And at that point, I think that he's going to be thrown to Kelce in this fourth quarter to try and get back in this one.
All right. Adam, who do you think is going to have a better game, Diggs or Kelce?
Diggs is also
the
a little
most
dinged up.
consistent receiver all season, and then there's Kelce, who's been the most consistent tight end. That is hard.
It's a great prop bet.
I actually say Diggs, though. I think the Chiefs are going to win this game, and I think the Chiefs are going to be the ones who are going to be ahead of Anson instead of the Bills. So I think Stephon Diggs will get about 9 catches, $130.
Yeah. He's averaging like 98 yards a game or like 96 yards a game. And
he's caught the ball 6 times in every game, like the first receiver to ever do that.
Yeah, Diggs over-under prop bet is 94.5 yards.
Oh.
That's a tough one, too, man.
I know, man. That's why
Come on, my bookie. I already gave you enough money.
I love these matchups, man. I love these matchups. Yeah, and if you want to bet any of these prop bets, make sure you go to my bookie right now and get these in. I actually think Kelce's going to have more yards. I know Diggs is going to get a lot of looks today because Cole Beasley is out. And that's kind of like, Josh Allen's check down guy that gets all those. I'm actually looking for Dawson Knox to have a decent game at tight end for the Bills because of that.
He's sneaky, man.
Don't jinx my fucking guy, man.
Oh, you put him in?
I have. God damn it, man. My bookie. I put so much money on Knox getting the first touchdown. Oh, my God. Sting.
When have I ever jinxed you?
Why couldn't we go the show without Knox being mentioned?
When have I ever jinxed you, man?
He's a superstitious man.
Man.
I have never jinxed you. When I say something, it comes true. You know this to be true.
Fuck.
I did not jinx you, man. Now Knox is destined to score. You have a score in the first touchdown of the game?
I do. I have a lot of money on it.
I have Kelce scoring my first.
I'm sorry, Adam.
I'm looking at it now, man. I don't know if I want to do it anymore.
This is what the fuck happens when me and you don't do a show for like 2 weeks together. Now all of a sudden our brains are working alike, and I don't love this at all.
Guys.
It's funny because whenever you guys agree, you guys tend to be right, but yet he's always so worried that you're jinxing.
The odds on Knox, if you go bet it right now, plus 2,200.
First
God damn
touchdown?
it. I have $100 on it. Potential payout $2,300.
Hell yeah.
Man, can I
Love
give you
bets like
an
that.
extra 100 to throw on there?
And that's,
Yeah.
a bunch of money you won last
Hey, man,
night.
use my bookie. It's really good.
So,
No doubt.
so yeah, with Cole Beasley out, I think Knox is going to have a decent game. I'm sorry about that, Adam. But that's the one sleeper that I'd be looking for this game. Tyreek Hill's going to get it. Sorry, buddy. But yeah, if you guys want that $1,000, make sure you guess. You can put Knox in there like Adam has for the first touchdown. Guess the final score of the Kansas City Bills
And
game.
share it.
And share. Please share and make your share public so we can find you. We've had some people share it and then it wasn't public, so we couldn't see it.
Oh, man.
And it's like, man, you're not even giving yourself a chance at this $1,000 if I can't see your
And
share.
get your friends and family a chance,
Yeah,
too. Tell
tag some
them, have
friends.
them share it, man.
So other prop bet. You guys want to get into some other prop bets?
Sure. These are fun.
Yeah, I love prop bets. That's my favorite part.
You've been killing the first two. Let's go.
The Bills' first quarter spread plus half a point. So you think the Bills will be winning through the first quarter?
If
Yes.
Anson's logic works, sure.
I think so.
You think so?
I think so. I think that Kansas City comes out and they have a slow start.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'd be comfortable making that bet. I put some money behind that.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, these teams kind of mirror each other, like we mentioned. Their offenses are similar but different at the same time. You got the mobile quarterback, you get them in space. They can both run the ball, they can both pass the ball. Their defenses, I think the Bills have a better defense. The Kansas City, though, situational defense,
Yep.
I guess is the best way to put it.
They're so similar.
Right.
They are.
Like they have pieces on defense, but the problem with the Bills is they don't run the ball effectively. Babel, as great of an offensive mind he is, that team is very one-dimensional.
It is.
So I think that might come back to haunt them in this
They've
game.
got to be able to run the ball today to win.
So, who are you rooting for in this game? Do you want Kansas City to win, or do you want the Bills to win? I want the Bills to win.
I root for my wallet.
Yeah.
And who I put my money on.
Yeah, who'd you put your money on,
who? I got Kansas City covering, and I got the over.
Kansas City covering and the over.
Come
okay.
on, man. I want the Bills to lose their 5th Super Bowl. Let's see it.
You want them to just make it there so they can lose it?
Hell yeah.
If we're
dude.
going on
Unless
storylines,
they play the Packers. Fuck the Packers.
if we're going on storylines, it's got to be Tom Brady beating the Bills in the Super Bowl for storyline
to
purposes.
retire?
To retire?
Yeah,
at home?
or the pass of the baton, Mahomes beats Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
The only
Great
reason I
storylines.
want to see the Bills win is because I want to see every single folding table in Buffalo be demolished.
I'll fucking go through a folding table.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. I got a couple at my house, and it's just like, you know what? Any excuse to do some dumb shit, I am down. That's why, us Lions fans, we got to come up with something like breaking tables or, like clubbing kneecaps. Like, how do we come up with something
Trick.
cool?
Let's get Trick involved. Come on.
He's going to be in here actually in a couple
Awesome.
weeks, so
That's my guy,
that'll
dude.
be fun. But that's we need that symbol of greatness. Like Bills fans, at first you're like, who are these assholes just breaking tables? And now it's like they're throwing babies through tables. They're throwing dogs through tables. Dudes are jumping off roofs onto tables. They're lighting them on fire and jumping on them. Like it's awesome.
Anson, you're going to love
Bills.
this. I got a parlay for you.
Uh-oh.
That I'm running, of course, on my bookie.
Oh, boy.
I've got Josh Allen to throw 2+ touchdown passes. So minimum, he has to throw 2 or more. Right?
Okay, I like that.
I got Stephon Diggs over 80 yards.
I like that.
I got the Chiefs covering. And I've got the over.
Got
and
him
the odds
covering
on that
3,
are
huh?
plus 400.
What was the last one after the Chiefs cover?
I'm taking the over on the points.
Man, I don't like overs in playoff football, especially in AFC and NFC championships. They tend to be a little bit lower scoring. They tend to be defense driven. Otherwise, I fucking love that parlay.
But, a big but,
Uh-oh.
the over-under is only 54 points.
Yeah.
Having said that, that means midway into the fourth, a 27-24 scoreline is very realistic.
I'm looking at
They only need to go 1
27-23
point
on
over.
mine
Anson.
right here. That's my
that
prediction.
game could finish 28-27, and I'd be a happy guy.
Yep. Yeah, there could be a lot. There will be a last-minute score on this.
Okay.
That changes a lot of fortune, I think.
I love when that happens. A Don Beebe moment when he tracks him down to cause the fumble on Leon Lett. Like, that cost so many people so much. It cost my dad a ton of money back in the day. I just remember being a kid and my dad just like fucking freaking out. I've never seen him freak out over football in his life. He's like, that little son of a bitch just cost me $4,000. So I hope we have a moment like that.
I think we're going to.
Because with that, other people win, too. It's not just about the heartbreak. So what's your final prediction, Anson?
27-23 Bills.
23
Ooh.
Bills.
I'm going on the under, and I like the Bills to win this one for an upset to lose 5 times in the Super Bowl.
That's so awful. Adam, did you give your straight-up point prediction or no? I know you said...
I haven't yet,
Yeah,
no.
I know you said you're taking Kansas City plus the points.
Yep. And the over, yep.
And the over. So what you got? What's
Yeah.
your final score?
Well, I think the Bills are a year early
You're
on their
probably
Super
right.
Bowl journey.
Probably
I think they
right.
could do it next year. I have the Chiefs winning 31-27.
There it is.
Yeah, see, and
4-point difference. We're pretty close. I just don't
I
like
think it's going to be a close
I just
game.
don't like the
I
Chiefs
wouldn't
to
be
win.
surprised if the Bills won. Josh Allen was my MVP, so I mean,
Who
I'm
do
not,
you
I'm not mad
want
either
to
way.
win?
he
know
says his
want to win?
pocketbook.
My pocketbook says
Yeah.
the Kansas City
That's
Chiefs
fair.
need to win.
That's fair. Fair enough.
I absolutely love this matchup, and I honestly don't give a shit who wins. I just want to see great football, and these teams just smack each other in the mouth for 60 minutes. If I had to bet and had to put some money down, you got to beat the champs to be the champs, and I'm always going to side with the champs, even though I do have a soft spot for the Buffalo Bills and them breaking all the tables. But I got Kansas City winning this game, similar to Adam, except I got it 31-24.
You know, one of the things that pushed me, because I was going back and forth, is how many times does an AFC or an NFC champion make it back to the Super Bowl of the following year?
Yeah,
It
it's
just
tough.
doesn't happen.
It's tough.
Doesn't really happen a lot.
But I think Kansas City was there a bit early last year, kind of like Adam, you're saying this year. If the Bills went there this year, it's like, next year was probably their year. And I think this was supposed to be Kansas City's year, period.
Well, hopefully the Bills
It's
can take it
so
from them.
odd. Kansas City, there are so many stars that aligned perfectly with the whole Alex Smith moving on to Patrick Mahomes, very friendly contracts on Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, able to bring in Le'Veon Bell. I mean, they're such a stacked team. It's so hard to bet against them.
Right.
No Lev Bell today. He's out.
Moving on.
Not that he's done anything this year, but
Yeah. Moving on.
Well, no, the concept of how they've built their roster,
no,
not that he's
I
going to have
agree.
an effect on the game.
No, just how they can get those
it
guys.
kind of has been a fairy tale for them,
Mm-hmm.
and it might end up with 2-ring fairy tale, man.
So the next game is the battle of the old quarterbacks. Like, it's like the legends round.
The legends.
Yeah, this is like Gus Macker back in the day, like
This
the
is
old
the
guys
legends.
versus the new guys. And so we got Tom Brady versus the Aaron Rodgers Packers-led team.
And these guys faced off earlier this season, just like the Bills and the Chiefs did.
Yep, and Bucks whooped that ass.
They did win.
They whooped that ass.
They did.
And that's the thing I'm looking forward to again today is the Bucks. I've been high on their defense all year. Adam and I have kind of gone back and forth on this. I think they're a little better than Adam thinks they are, and I think when all of those pieces are clicking and you got White out there doing his thing and Ndamukong Suh, he has always hated Aaron Rodgers. He has always done dirty, nasty, disgusting things to the Packers. Like, he put the Packers on the casting couch. That's what he does to the Packers. And he's ready to go to work, and I think he's going to have a big play today. I love Ndamukong Suh from his time here in Detroit. So
I still love them too, man.
it's going to be a monstrous game today. I love the battle of these two old quarterbacks to see who's got it, who's going to be fighting to go to their last Super Bowl, presumably. I don't know. I love this game. And the same thing, it's just a very close game all the way around. These two teams kind of mirror each other, you know. And then we got the spread. It's also kind of a pick'em game. -3.5 for Green Bay, and that's only because they're at the frozen tundra today.
It's really cool the way that these two matchups have set themselves up and the parallels between each of these teams. I'm worried about the Packers running out of offense. They've won 7 games in a row, and the Bucs seem to have their number last time. I do think that their defense can be a little overrated, but they still have the number 1 run defense in the league.
Yes.
And if they can stop Aaron Jones, and now you have to have Devontae Adams beat you, I think that Tampa Bay is capable of tailoring their defensive game plan towards Devontae Adams and shutting them down.
What do you think about the absence of Antonio Brown? Like, he's become Tom Brady's number 1 go-to receiver, most receptions over the past 5 games. He's not playing today, and they have enough weapons to make up for it. I mean, you got Godwin, you got Evans, you got Gronk. But at the same time, whenever your favorite guy goes away, is this going to be a Scotty Miller game now?
Well, when you take the risk, a franchise level risk of bringing on a guy like Antonio Brown, you brought him for this game. And to not have him is a major blow to them. But they've got Godwin, they've got Evans, they've got decent tight end play, and they've got 2 great running backs, both of which can catch the ball out of the backfield.
Right.
So I don't think that he's really in trouble in terms of weapons. I think that in terms of weapons, that's where Rodgers is probably in the deficit a little bit.
Okay. Adam, what are you feeling on this game? Who do you think?
It's a tough game, man.
I love it. I love these.
Yeah.
I love these matchups.
Both of them, man.
For me, this one was more difficult than the Chiefs and Bills. But both teams counter each other so well. Green Bay will not be able to run the ball effectively the way they want to today. And Green Bay's got a secondary. They got one of the best cornerbacks in the league. So, not that you're going to shut down Devontae Adams, but if you limit him, who else is Aaron Rodgers going to throw to?
Alan Lazard.
Well, he's one of my other prop bets, so
Robert
let's not talk
Tonyan.
about him.
MVC or whatever
Marquez Valdez
Yeah.
Scantling.
MVS. Yeah, I think one of those 2 guys is going to have a big day in order for them to win this game. It can't all come down to Devontae Adams, and it certainly isn't going to all come down to Aaron Jones.
Right.
How
Go ahead.
How poetic would it be for Tom Brady to just leave the Patriots, go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, lead them to the Super Bowl? That is the biggest fuck you possible to New England
that's
fans.
the narrative that I'm seeing.
Well, not
played
even
out
New
big
England
time
fans,
there.
actually. Just Bill Belichick.
No, to the world. I mean, and not only that, the way he's getting there, he's never had to play road games to get to the Super Bowl. He's got to go on the road for the entire playoffs to get to the Super Bowl, which is played in Tampa at home.
I have a question.
I love that. I love it.
If he was going against any other quarterback aside from Aaron Rodgers, would we even be thinking that this was a contest? Because I feel like the NFL would just be, we got to have Brady in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think everybody's in love with the idea of the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl to kind of replay Super Bowl I. Like, that's cool. I mean, it's cool.
You guys ever...
You went deep on that. I didn't
You didn't know that was the first Super Bowl
No, I
ever
did know
played?
that, but I didn't know you were going that deep.
Yeah.
It's how long is this Packers run going to last? That's my question. Like,
I
just
know-
the season I'm talking. Because the Ravens came in so hot into the playoffs. They won a playoff game. Got bounced.
Yep.
But the Packers haven't lost in forever.
Seven games. But
Is that going to happen this week or next week, or do they win out? If they win out, that would be so impressive, but I just doubt it. I don't see it.
9 straight wins is big, man. To be able to do that is to end the season. I don't
Against
know,
good
man.
football teams.
Exactly. And when you go back
Not
through
beating
those
the Atlanta
wins,
Falcons and fucking having an orgasm.
dude, look at some of those wins, though. I mean, one of those was against the Lions, and they barely beat us.
If Aaron Rodgers gets another Super Bowl, what does that do for his legacy? Where do you put him?
Well, he's already a Hall of Famer. He's
Yep.
already a first ballot Hall of Famer.
But does that put
Is
him in
he
the...
I think
better
it brings
than-
him...
Does it put him
better
closer
than
to the GOAT
Brady?
conversation?
I don't think anyone can touch Brady at this point. 6 is such a
Gaudy.
unbelievable achievement.
Yeah, it's a
Especially
gaudy.
since he
Potentially-
left, went to another
He's already
conference
been to
and did it.
9. Yeah, it's... Oh, man, that's tough. I think he should be considered a top 5 quarterback if he's able to win
I think he
another
already
Super
is,
Bowl.
isn't he?
It's
From
top five
talent,
all time?
yes.
It's tough with just one Super Bowl, though. You know,
But look
like,
at those people at the top, though.
Right.
Right? You got
Brady.
Peyton with 2 rings, but we really only give him credit for 1 because that defense. But Peyton's got 2.
He was
You've
pretty
got
bad, too.
Drew
Montana.
Brees. I don't put him in that. I don't put Drew Brees anywhere near that category. Drew
Top
Brees
five?
out of my top 5 quarterbacks of all time.
He's not.
Yeah, not happening. But with Aaron Rodgers, he gets a second ring. He's got to leapfrog Marino. He's got to leapfrog. God damn it! I don't want to say he's got to leapfrog Peyton, but you can make the argument that he could leapfrog Peyton in the all-time standings. I think he's a top 3 quarterback, top 4.
If he
it's all
wins
said and
2,
done.
yeah, if he wins 2, he's top 3 for sure. He's in the conversation with Brady, Montana,
That is legacy
and Rodgers.
defining.
Yeah.
Rodgers could do so much of what Peyton could do from the pocket, but Peyton could never do what Rodgers was able to do on the run.
Is underappreciated at times,
Especially in
but also
Detroit.
overrated at times.
Especially in Detroit, though. Well, both. I agree.
Yeah. Well, he's a good balance of both, but he gets to a 3rd Super Bowl, wins it. Man, that does a lot for his legacy, in my opinion.
Does. I hope he doesn't.
He's been to multiple NFC Championship games.
Yeah, but I mean, if you don't win it, it doesn't matter. You know,
Oh,
if, you're,
I know,
if at the end
but
of your
we're
career you
going
have
over
Oh, it
resume.
matters
You have
because
the
I would love to have been there once or twice.
No, I get it, but at the end of your career, if you're Aaron Rodgers and you have the same amount of Super Bowls as Trent Dilfer, it doesn't look good. If you
No.
have 2,
We're
it puts you on a
comparing-
different pedestal.
Yeah. We're comparing Aaron Rodgers with Tom Brady. We're
Yes.
not comparing with fucking Matthew Stafford.
No.
That was the first half.
But that's okay. So how about this? Stafford goes somewhere, gets his Super Bowl, and him and Rodgers both end with 1 on their career. How are you evaluating
Rodgers
each?
will always be above Stafford.
You think
They're not
so?
even close.
Okay.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers in like a penthouse suite.
I don't
Matthew
know about that
Stafford,
because you put
maybe
Stafford on the
luxury.
Packers his whole career. I mean, you put Stafford on the Packers over these past 12 years, may have a Super Bowl.
Oh, I don't know. Aaron Rodgers has carried that team a few times. And we're now finding out how shit of a coach Mike McCarthy is.
I'm a big Stafford fan, but I can't
You've
ever put
given-
him in the same book as Rodgers.
It's too early.
Rodgers could, or Stafford could go somewhere and win 3 rings. I'd still have Rodgers over him.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, well, let's not push it, man. That's a big
I
achievement.
don't think we have to worry about that scenario.
But Aaron Rodgers has had a young, hot coach twice in his career. Early on with Mike McCarthy, they won a Super Bowl and went back to another one. And then Mike McCarthy got old and shat himself. Now we move forward
really
with
did.
Mike. Now we move forward with LaFleur. 26-6 in the regular season. 2 straight NFC championships. They're
that be
impressive.
nice?
He's not going anywhere, and this team isn't going anywhere.
No, and I certainly thought coming into this season that they were going to be an afterthought. I thought they were going to be an 8-8, 9-7 team at best.
Really?
I did, man.
Yeah,
but,
he
you know,
traded away
but-
Rodgers in our
but- yeah, I
dynasty
did.
league, thinking he
But-
wasn't going to be shit.
But part of that, well, I also
But why,
no,
though?
you cashed in.
Jefferson.
You
No,
cashed
I
in.
want to hear.
got Justin
I want to
Jefferson.
hear the reasoning. Why though?
Why what?
Coming off a 13-3 season, why would you imagine they couldn't win 11 or 12 games
I
and
have
take
to
that
be
division?
very honest with you, Adam. I think it's probably the Homer Kool-Aid, cornbread eating Lions fan that I am. That I just, when is this run going to end? You asked just this season. I'm asking when it's going to end in general because it's been going on way too fucking long.
Well, if Jordan Love is the next evolution of Aaron Rodgers, we're fucked.
You know, I think the Jordan Love thing
Because that organization is ran much better than ours.
But, you know, in the beginning, the optics of that Jordan Love move made it seem like there was all this strife inside of that organization, which would have made me think that they're not going to come out great, at least out of the gate.
Imagine being a Green Bay Packers fan, guys, for 1 second. Packers fans would bitch after winning divisions, multiple playoff games. They would bitch.
Look at the
we don't do
Patriots
enough for free
fans.
agency. Imagine being able to just bitch about stuff like that.
I know.
No, look at Patriots fans. I mean, 1 year and they're like, "Oh, Belichick sucks." It's like, "Oh yeah." Now all of a sudden, this guy has forgotten how to coach football. Like, yep.
No, that team should.
He just doesn't know what the hell he's doing anymore. Like you spoiled little bitches.
I'm so glad that Brady came out on top of that one, and it wasn't the opposite way. You know,
Yes.
If we were
Patriots-
talking about the Patriots in the AFC Championship game right now, I'd be frustrated.
All right, guys, we got about 3 minutes left, so we got to get our picks in.
Okay.
And make sure if you want to win that $1,000, you're guessing on the AFC Championship game who's going to score the first touchdown, the final score of the game, and make sure you share. We're going to give away $1,000 if you get all 3 of those things done and you get it right. We're talking about the NFC Championship game right now. Bucks versus Pack. Who you got, Anson?
I'm going with the double upset playoff Sunday.
Whoop, whoop.
I think that the train or the show ends this week for Green Bay. I think that their offense runs out and they lose 31-20.
31-20 to the Bucks.
Absolutely.
Bucks win. All right. I like
Tom
that.
Brady is back in the Super Bowl. Crazy, I know.
Tough to bet against Brady anytime in life, in anything. Like,
Especially football.
dude just wins. Right.
Especially playing
Yeah,
football
I made
games.
I made an insurance policy with my bets this weekend.
Yeah? What you got?
So I had like this wicked parlay. The first one is both Rodgers and Brady to throw over 230 yards.
I like that.
Packers to cover. The Bucks and the Packers to score an odd amount of points. And the over.
So
But-
what's your final?
I did put double the money on the Bucks winning. You don't bet against Tom Brady.
Oh, wow. All right. So
No,
what's your
you don't.
final score?
My man.
My final score is going to be 27-23
Okay.
So you're on the
for
under.
the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So you're on the under.
So you got the under. We got the Bucks winning. So, I mean, it's going to be a clean sweep on this panel for the Bucks because I'm also taking the Bucks. I got a little lower scoring game. I mean, the weather isn't perfect in the frozen tundra. It's supposed to be snowing, kind of like it is
Well,
right
yeah.
now on Woodward.
It snowed at night, so it's going to be rough conditions
Yeah,
on,
but it's
on the field.
It's going to be 30 degrees at game time, so I'm not really worried about that. Especially
just
with
think it's
Tom
gonna
Brady
be
coming
wet,
from
though.
New England.
Yeah.
I don't think weather
No,
affects him
for
at
sure,
all.
for sure.
But I got the Bucks winning because I do not bet against Tom Brady. 21-17 is what I have him.
Low scoring game.
Low scoring game. Yep. But
Okay.
fun. Exciting, good game. Make sure you guys get all your guesses in for the AFC Championship game. You have up until game time to get the guesses in, so make sure you share this. Let people know that they have a chance to win $1,000. The more friends you get in this, maybe they'll peel you off like 10%. You can be like their betting pimp. But yeah, get your guesses in. Who's going to score the first touchdown in the AFC Championship game? The final score, and make sure you share this. That is our pregame show. Anson, we only have one more in 2 weeks for the Super Bowl.
I'm excited and kind of sad.
It's been crazy. It's been a crazy year. Thank you guys for watching all the pregame shows Sunday at 11 a.m. We love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting Woodward Sports. And Adam, have a great championship Sunday, buddy.
Yeah, I'm excited, guys.
Good
Have a
luck
good
on
one,
that
guys.
parlay, pal.
Yeah, let's go.